Esteemed colleagues, now we are going to have a press briefing of the Speaker of the Presidential Administration of Ukraine on ATO issues, Mr. Motuzyanyk. Please welcome. Hello, esteemed journalists. The previous 24 hours, the most recent 24 hours were highlighted by the intensification of tensions in Donbass, and the enemy was using the barrel artillery and heavy mortar launches, especially within the Mariupol direction. If to speak about Luhansk direction, late during the evening, the enemy has shelled the ATO forces using large caliber grenades near which is to the east from Stanitsa Luhanska. Within Stanitsa Luhanska, Shastia, Trohizbenka, Krymska section of front, the situation was stable. The enemy is quite active within the west of Lugansk Oblast. This being the case, within the section of Bakhmutivska Highway Road, the illegal gang formations has shelled Ukrainian fortifications near Novotoshkivska while using the anti-tank grenades and mortar launchers. The situation was not stable in Zolote. The enemy's shelling while using the grenade launches was started at noon and it lasted up to sunset. Then the sabotage reconnaissance group of the enemy were trying to break through the defense line within the very same region. After the clashes, the enemy was forced to retreat. During the recent 24 hours near Zolote, Vorog has used mortar launches, artillery of 1 to 2 millimeter caliber, and portable missile launchers Grad Partizan. Also, the illegal gang formations has repeatedly shelled the positions of Ukrainian servicemen near Popasna using mortar launches and artillery. The enemy's actions near Troitsk were carried out only during the night, after the midnight, and late in the evening. They used 82 millimeter mortar launches. If to speak about Donetsk direction, to the east from Svitlodarsk storage facilities, the enemy has resorted to a range of provocations after the midnight and was not active anymore. To the west from the storage facility, several facts of violating the ceasefire were registered near Zaitsevo settlement. There, the enemy shelled our fortifications using large caliber machine guns. Near Horlivka during the last night, it was relatively calm. The situation was stable within the conflict line from Dzerzhinsk to Yasenovata. The enemy was active only near Rozivka settlement of Yasenovata region, where the ATO forces were shelled. The situation near Donetsk airport remains dire. The enemy constantly provokes Ukrainian military servicemen to open response fire while using the light weapons and mortar launchers. The heavy weaponry within this very region was not used. The same tactics of 24 hours shelling of Ukrainian positions is used near Krasnohorivka and Marivka, though the mortar launchers are not used that frequently. Within the Mariupol section, the situation is dire. The enemy's shelling of Ukrainian critical lines was carried out using heavy artillery, namely the Ukrainian fortified points near Bogdanivka, Prokhorivka, Stara Ignatiivka, Lebedinsko, and Vinogradno to the south from Mariupol were used. Also, howitzers were used to shell the residential quarters of Prokhorivka. Within Donetsk and Lugansk Oblast, the state border troops and units of the armed forces of Ukraine have registered flights of 4 drones of the enemy. Also, the state border troops have noticed flight of 1 more drone and Russian helicopter Mi-8 within the administrative border between Kherson Oblast and temporarily occupied territory of the Crimea. During the recent 24 hours, within the military military actions. There are no casualties among Ukrainian servicemen. 8 were wounded. Ukrainian representatives of Ukrainian law enforcement agencies are detaining the insurgents and their accomplices. Representative of law enforcement agency of Lysychansk, together with employees of the security service of Ukraine, detained a 33-year-old man who, for a long time, was a member of a legal gang formation of so-called LNR. The man was fighting within the southeastern army, as well as in gangs of Mozgovoy and Kozitsyn. I was accepted to battalion, and I was standing at the checkpoint with a submachine gun. Also, I was transporting the improvised explosives. The security service of Ukraine has found people who carried out shellings of Sartana settlement near Mariupol on the 16th of August. The man with the code name Zharik was directing these shellings, and the resident of Sartana was correcting this very fire. He was granting information as regards of aims of shellings from Mariupol. On the August the 20th, the employees of the State Security Service of Ukraine has detained him, and currently the investigation is carried out. Future pilots are getting ready to give the oath to Ukrainian people. Nearly 200 students of the first year of Kharkiv University, named after Ivan Kozheduba, were getting ready to serve Ukraine. Esteemed colleagues, that would be all for today. If you have any questions, you're welcome. Dmitro Moroz, Fifth Channel, I have one question. Please tell us 8 Ukrainian servicemen were wounded. Had they been wounded? Among these servicemen who were wounded, 5 of them are from the armed forces of Ukraine and 3 from the National Guard. And they were wounded near Granitne, Mariinka, Krasnogorivka, and Vinogradne near Mariupol. Thank you so much. Do we have other questions, clarifications? Thank you, Mr. Oleksandr Anatolievich, so much. All the best. And let us remind you that the next report will take place tomorrow, this very time.